Hi and very warm welcome at Amish Shackle 5858. I am Amish Shackle. Following news headlines have been reported by world major English news channels and news agencies. So please watch it.
Tonight, several breaking stories as we come on the air. The chaotic scene in court, you'll see it. CEO murder suspect Luigi Mangione. You can hear supporters cheering, and what his attorneys now claim. Also, after the California fires, LA's mayor removes LA's fire chief. Just in tonight, the Menendez brothers, the new DA, and the decision moments ago. And the pilot arrested in Boston right before the flight, what he's accused of. First tonight, accused killer Luigi Mangione facing the judge for the first time since pleading not guilty for allegedly shooting and killing the United Healthcare CEO outside a New York City hotel. What Luigi Mangione's attorney is now claiming. Also breaking after the horrific California fires, the LA mayor tonight firing the LA fire chief. What the mayor now claims about what the fire chief did not do when those fires broke out. Just in tonight, the case of Lyle and Eric Menendez, the newly elected DA, and his decision just moments ago. 1 month into President Trump's term, and voters packing town halls across the country, face to face with Republican members of Congress. What Americans are saying about Elon Musk. At the new Washington Post poll, 53% of Americans disapproving of how President Trump is handling the economy, the key issue in the election. And at the White House today, a heated exchange, the president asking if Maine's governor was in the room. The exchange ended this way.
Enjoy your life after governor, because I don't think you'll be in elected politics.
Why he singled her out. Tonight, the horror over the body returned by Hamas. The family said this was not their loved one. Tonight, Hamas says it has now given them the right body. But all of this leading to new tensions, and will this ceasefire hold? Tonight, the pilot arrested in Boston just before takeoff at Logan Airport. What he's accused of. The explosion in Maui at a popular resort, multiple injuries reported. The big change tonight for the Yankees after 5 decades, what they will now allow. And the new honor tonight for a golden girl. And have many white fans celebrating. From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with from CBS News headquarters in New York, this is the CBS Evening News. Good evening, I'm John Dickerson.
I'm Maurice Dubois. The cuts keep coming. Now President Trump is eliminating more than 6,700 jobs at the Internal Revenue Service, the agency that collects 96% of the money that funds the federal government.
And he's doing this at the height of tax season, when Americans are checking their mailboxes for the W-2s and 1099s they need to fill out their 1040s.
And here's another number for you, 800-829-1040. That is the number many taxpayers will be calling to reach the IRS for help, and hoping they'll reach an experienced agent to answer their questions.
Chief White House correspondent Nancy Cordes looks tonight at the impact of the IRS cuts on the workers and on Americans who depend on them. Nancy?
John, the cuts this week amount to about 6 to 8.
Breaking news tonight, the new twist in the Menendez brothers' bid for freedom. LA's district attorney saying he opposes a new trial for Eric and Lyle Menendez. The brothers serving a life sentence for the murders of their parents. Speaking out from behind bars, we asked the DA what it all means for their future in prison. Plus,
how can you be represented by you if you don't have a voice in Congress?
Backlash to mass firings in the federal government grows in town halls across the country, and just in, more than 5,000 Department of Defense workers on the chopping block. The sweeping crackdown on immigration. NBC News learning the Trump administration is searching for new places to detain undocumented migrants. And what's behind the reassignment of a top ICE official? The worst day of the year for the Dow, dropping over 700 points over new concerns about the economy. Accused killer Luigi Mangione wearing a bulletproof vest faces a judge after after being accused of that brazen murder of a top healthcare CEO. His supporters lined up at dawn. Deaths from a brutal flu season hit a new high, and the rising numbers of an alarming outbreak of measles. The new tipping point for the minimum wage, the debate over paying tip workers less, and why some servers say they'd rather keep their wages low.
This is NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
You're right. You're right. It's Friday, so you know what that means. Let's welcome tonight's guest. He gets a sunburn watching Baywatch. Fox News contributor Tom Shalhoub. He was a White House intern under Bush, and that's the only time he ever saw one. Host of the Guy Benson Show, Guy Benson. He's hoping to hear something tonight that he's never heard before. Applause. Comedian Chris Stefano. And like all former cheerleaders, she has a restraining order against me. Co-host of Outnumbered, Emily Capano. All right. Before we get to some news stories, let's do this. Yeah.
Greg's Leftovers.
Here we go. Oh, yeah. It's Leftovers, where I read the jokes we didn't use this week, and as always, it's my first time reading them. So if they suck, we'll make Joe Mackey hand-wash Maxine Waters' wig. All right, President Trump swapped out the Resolute desk in the Oval Office just days after Elon Musk's son appeared to wipe a booger on it. Well, it could have been worse, said one man. Researchers say narcissists have a higher likelihood of being ignored by others. You know, for months, Jesse Waters was telling everybody this, but nobody listened. The regional airline that operated the Delta flight that flipped over on a Canada runway had recently bragged about having man-free flight crews. In other words, I think we're all surprised they actually made it to the runway.
Oh, sexist would say.
Do we really need that anymore?
Yes.
Republican Mitch McConnell announced that he won't run for re-election. Is it because he's old, feeble, or out of touch? No, he just wants to spend more time with his family. According to a new survey, nearly 10% of U.S. adults identify as LGBTQ. The other 90% identify as who gives a f***. Yeah. A nonprofit is asking social media users to help name a remarkably rotund beaver. People willing to participate should send their suggestions to Person with a Large Beaver, care of Anna Navarro. She loves. Divorce rumors continue to escalate for the Obamas. Hopefully they can settle it like men. Terrible that you would applaud that. After Canada beat the U.S. last night in hockey, Justin Trudeau gleefully mocked the U.S. Then he went home and posted his resume on ZipRecruiter. Democrat consultant James Carville said Stephen A. Smith doesn't know his ass from a hole in the ground. Carville should know a hole in the ground is where he lays his eggs. Because he's a lizard. Lizards lay eggs, don't they? Who cares? Actress Cynthia Erivo, there she is, has joined the Hollywood Bowl's production of Jesus Christ Superstar, in which she will be playing the title character, Jesus Christ. In a related casting note, the Virgin Mary will be played by this actor. DOGE, otherwise known as the Department of Government Efficiency, has revealed that $1.9 billion in HUD money has been misplaced during the Biden administration. No one is sure where it went, but that could explain the bulge in Rachel Levine's skirt. Finally, scientists have developed a drone that can smell. A drone that smells? Don't we have that already? Oh. You hate him. So here we go. I wonder if our culture sends a message to young men that you should suppress every masculine urge.
I think that our culture sends a message to young men that you should suppress every masculine urge. You should try to cast aside your family. You should try to suppress what makes you a young man in the first place. And I think that my message to young men is don't allow this broken culture to send you a message that you're a bad person because you're a man, because you like to tell a joke, because you like to have a beer with your friends, or because you're competitive.
So there you go. JD has a message for young men. It's okay.
In Australia, Friday. Australia confronts China about military exercises off the east coast.
What we have done is make representation saying that we think best practice would be to give more notice, and we've done that through diplomatic channels as is appropriate.
Israel confirms it's received a second set of human remains believed to be that of hostage Shiri Bibas. A third teenager charged over an alleged violent home invasion in Cairns. Caught in controversy, crowds show support for the man accused of shooting dead a health company CEO at a hearing in New York. Hello and welcome to ABC News. I'm Nadia Daly. The Prime Minister says China should have given more notice about its Navy's live fire exercise off Australia's east coast. Yesterday, China issued a live fire drill warning at short notice, forcing multiple...
Good morning to you. The Prime Minister will defy Donald Trump with a new aid package for Ukraine.
That's as Sir Keir Starmer is expected to avoid challenging the president over his attack on Volodymyr Zelensky when the pair meet next week.
Well, this comes after Trump took aim at Starmer, claiming he'd done nothing to end the conflict. Here's what the president had to say.
I think that President Putin and President Zelensky are going to have to get together because you know what? We want to stop killing millions of people.
Device like your iPhone, you are in control of your data, where it is stored, and who can access it.
Well, China Apple's to remove its security fee after requested access.
And abuse projects.
Local residents discover that houses are being given to Afghan refugees at the expense of council tenants.
South Wales Police will roll out the use of live facial recognition cameras across Cardiff today during the Six Nations.
And as a review of 90 low-traffic neighbourhoods finds over 80% of people oppose the scheme, we're asking, should they be scrapped?
Good morning, it's all eyes on Twickenham this afternoon as reinvigorated England bids to end a run of 4 successive defeats against Scotland in the Six Nations. We'll have all the build-up throughout the morning.
Israeli Army radio reports the body handed over by Hamas is that of Shiri Bibas for a mix-up as 6 more live hostages set to be released later this Saturday. We bring you the latest from CPAC in the United States, the Conservative Conference seen as a victory lap for MAGA on day 2 of the National Security advisor Mike Waltz took to the stage amid the fallout of change of policy when it comes to Ukraine. And Donald Trump applies more pressure on Volodymyr Zelensky to accept a deal that will give the United States a favorable deal for Ukraine's mineral resources. The US president arguing Kiev owes it for the billions of dollars poured into the war effort.
Hello, a very good morning. It's 6 o'clock. Coming up any moment now, 6 hostages held by Hamas in Gaza will be handed back.
Growing concern for young women missing in County Durham since Tuesday.
And in the Six Nations case, on from claim record fifth successive Calcutta Cup victory at Twickenham this afternoon.
It's Saturday, the 22nd of February. Israel's military confirmed they've now received the body of hostage and mother Shiri Bibas, dangerously killed in captivity. We now await the release of the 6 Israeli hostages this morning and over 600 Palestinian prisoners later today. Donald Trump says Prime Minister Starmer and President Emmanuel Macron have done nothing to stop in Ukraine ahead of a visit by both leaders this week.
Feeling seen, feeling beautiful. I can't imagine my life without it.
The Last showgirl, Pamela Anderson, discusses her new role and a life of being objectified.
Looking at it through my kids' eyes was interesting to my adult children, talking to them about having a mom who was, objectified in some way and how that felt and how that shaped them.
And in the Women's Nations League, a night of frustration for England as Serena Wigman's side are held to a draw by Portugal in their opening fixture.
Hello, very good morning, and thanks for joining us here on Sky News Breakfast. Our top story today: 6 Israeli hostages will be released by
Israel confirms it has received the body of hostage Shiri Bibas after Hamas returned new remains from Gaza as both parties prepare for the 7th hostage prisoner swap. Australia confronts over apparent live-fire drills conducted off its coast, calling Beijing's explanation unsatisfactory. China and the Cook Islands 5-year agreement to explore the Pacific nation's seabed mineral riches. That's a move likely to further irk close partner New Zealand.
Africa News.
Conflicts took center stage in the final G20 of foreign ministers in South Africa Friday amid tension between Pretoria and Washington. South Africa, first country president of the group of top economies.
To this end, sustainable investments in conflict prevention and peace building concerning the ongoing conflict and wars in Africa, the Middle East and Europe. The meeting reiterated that all states must act in a manner consistent with the purpose and principles
Thank you very much for giving time to Amir Shekel 5858. I am Amir Shekel. Have a good life. Bye-bye.